In this video, I'm giving you 5 things I believe we need in order to build and maintain a strong democracy. Let's get to them.
1. We need participation. Firstly, we can only achieve participation from every citizen if we have a system which uses free and fair elections to choose and replace the government. Free and fair elections play a critical role in political transitions because they advance our democracy and encourage political liberalization. Free and fair elections also help promote peaceful, democratic political transformation, and this leads to a stronger stability and prosperity in a country. However, restricting people's rights to vote has happened in the U.S. states of Montana, Iowa, and Georgia, and a few more states, and this doesn't improve democracy. It goes against the system of free and fair elections. It's quite dictatorial, if you ask me, because it makes it more difficult for minorities to participate in the democratic process, and this marginalizes minorities even more. Secondly, everyone who lives in a democracy needs to feel that their voices count and that they can be heard. There needs to be room for discussion, and we should allow everyone to be heard so we can learn from each other. It's also important everyone feels safe enough to express their opinions without having to fear things like death threats. In short, freedom of expression is imperative. Thirdly, I believe participation needs to start at the local level because it's easier to feel connected to political decisions which directly influence your life. If more people get engaged on the local level, it would improve the democratic process. Government can help here because governments at all levels can engage their citizens on online platforms. At an online discussion forum, governments can allow for discussions in which everyone can participate. Governments can draw conclusions from these discussions and use those conclusions in their policy making.
But as much as this can help, it's not a great solution as there are citizens in every country around the world without internet access. For those people, it's difficult to participate in online discussions. It's difficult for them to participate in online discussions, and that's why town hall meetings will always be a great solution to allow every citizen to participate in the democratic discussion. And then it is imperative that lawmakers take into account what they've heard from citizens, because if citizens feel they are not heard, they give up on democracy. They stop voting and turn their backs on their politicians.
Finally, peaceful protest movements calling for reform can spur long-term democratic change. That's why democratic governments should provide vocal public support for grassroots pro-democracy movements. 2. We need to protect human rights.
In order to get a stronger democracy, lawmakers have to respect, protect, and fulfill human rights. Here, I'm talking about protection against racism, racial discrimination, xenophobia, homophobia, and other forms of intolerance. When our elected leaders attack democratic institutions such as the press, independent judiciaries, and anti-corruption agencies, and the rights of women and minorities such as the LGBTQ+ community and migrants, they undermine our faith in democracy.
That's why I believe democratic leaders should show respect for fundamental norms by adhering to domestic legislation which are in line with international human rights laws and standards. And they should refrain from rhetoric and lawmaking which undermine and violate human rights. And yes, US Senator Bernie Sanders definitely does that. 3. We need to eliminate corruption. One reason why it'll take a long time for the Ukraine to join the European Union is the widespread corruption in the country.
And corruption is bad. It's real bad. And it's so bad because it's dangerous. It's so dangerous it can kill our democracies because corruption damages democratic political institutions and the private sector. Corruption weakens. It weakens economic growth and jeopardizes the basic needs and interests of a country's most underprivileged groups.
That means that corruption benefits the elite and disregards the voices of the people in general and the voices of minorities in particular. Corruption can also lead to unfair elections, which creates a loss of trust upon the government. It can lead to opportunism and authoritarianism, and that means the end of democracy. What's left is repression of the people, and when we've gotten to that point, we eventually get conflicts and social disorders. 4. We need a strong democratic system. To maintain a strong democracy, the electoral processes and procedures need to work well. Recognizing the relationship between the separation of powers, democracy, effective and efficient government institutions, and the transparency and accountability of electoral systems is key here. Secondly, if you ask me, elected leaders must stop the filibustering. US Senate minorities have filibustered too long in order to block civil rights legislation. I believe it stops democracy reforms which a broad majority actually supports. So if the Senate listens to the popular will, the filibuster must go.
Let's stay in America because finally, I believe US presidents should be elected by popular vote. The popular vote is more a reflection of the will of the people than the electoral college system the US has now. Let's just take President Donald Trump. He would never have been elected president if it had been up to the popular vote.
65,853,514 people voted for Hillary Clinton in the 2016 US presidential election, whereas 62,984,828 people voted for Donald Trump. In other words, 48.2% of the popular vote went to Hillary Clinton, and 46.1% went to Donald Trump. But we all know who won the elections and the system which allowed it to happen. 5. To protect every citizen, we need justice and rule of law. It's very important we see that equal access to independent, impartial, and timely justice is a cornerstone of democracy and economic and social development. The independence of the judiciary is also imperative.
And the rule of law is vital because the value of the rule of law lies in the fact that it prevents arbitrary arrests. It secures justice and precludes tyranny and oppression. Let's just take the fact that black men are stopped by the police in America for no apparent reason, and these innocent black men, can end up getting killed by the police.
If the rule of law would be working, driving while black would be a thing which belonged to the past, because the rule of law would limit the power of those who have authority. The government must first control the people, and then it must be obliged to control itself, or our democracy won't work.
These were just a few things I believe we need to build and maintain a strong democracy. Of course, there are more things we need, such as prevention from election interference, addressing the use of bots on social media, and requirement of social media companies to report foreign efforts to spread disinformation and propaganda. But still, I hope you found this video useful and that you can forgive me for making little mistakes such as saying xenophobia instead of xenophobia. And if you have more ideas on how to build and maintain a strong democracy, you know where to share them.
Some of this information came from these websites. You'll find these links below this video.
If you found this video interesting, please give it a thumbs up and leave a comment in the comment section below. Subscribe to my channel and watch this series from the start. In 2 weeks, I will be back with a new video in my series on intellectual giftedness. Till then, I only want to say 3 things. Thank you for watching. Take care and bye for now.